All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're not just talking about AI theory. We are literally going to deconstruct what it takes to build an app that can think for itself. We're opening up the entire toolbox, looking at every single piece you need. And this is all based on a real-world developer workshop. So, let's get into it. So, here's the big question, right? If you cut through all the hype, what does a developer actually need to build one of these smart apps? One that can reason and take action all on its own. You'll see it's not just about one fancy algorithm. It's a whole ecosystem of tools working together. You know, the kind of app we're talking about here has a name. It's called an agentic app. Now, try not to think of it like a normal app that just, responds when you tap a button. This is more like a digital partner. It uses a super powerful AI model like Google's Gemini to really understand what you want, think through the steps, and then actually do things to make it happen. It's a huge shift in how we should think about software. And look, this isn't just some theoretical shopping list. The toolkit we're digging into comes straight from a hands-on workshop. It was presented by Jae-Ching Park at the 2025 I/O Extended event in Seoul. This is the real deal gear that developers were told they needed to get up and running. Okay, first things first. Every great project, whether it's a house or an app, needs a rock-solid foundation. For us, that means setting up the core development environment. Getting this part right from the start is going to make everything that comes after so much easier. So this foundation really boils down to three key parts. First up, you need the Flutter SDK. That's the framework, the guts of the whole operation. Second, you got to pick your workshop, your IDE. This is where you'll write all your code, something like VS Code or Android Studio. And third, you have to configure the platform-specific tools, like the Android SDK or Xcode for Apple devices, just to make sure your app can actually run wherever you want it to. Now, before you even think about adding all the cool AI stuff, the source material is really clear on this one critical checkpoint. Can you build and run a simple, basic desktop app? This particular workshop was focused on desktop, so making sure this works is absolutely non-negotiable. It's kind of like checking that the lights turn on before you start installing a super complex home theater system. Okay, so besides the app itself, you're also going to need some tools for the server side of things. The workshop specifies these are for running something called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP server. The easiest way to think about the MCP is as a kind of bridge. It helps your app talk in a really structured way with the AI model. And tools like UV for Python and Node.js, well, they're the plumbing that makes that bridge work. All right, the foundation is laid. Now for the really exciting part. This is where we install the brains of the operation. This is all about hooking our app up to the powerful AI model that's going to make it truly agentic. So to tap into Gemini's intelligence, you need two things. First, you'll need a Google Cloud Platform account. Think of that as like the main entrance to the entire Google Cloud building. But just getting in the front door is enough, right? You need the specific key to the room you want to get into. And that key, well, that key is everything. And that key is the Gemini API key. As the slide says in no uncertain terms, this is required. The original workshop document literally marks it 필수, which means required or mandatory. This is not a suggestion, folks. The API key is the direct live wire to the AI's brain. Without it, your app is just, well, it's just a normal app. No intelligence, no magic. Okay, so we've got our foundation and we've got our brain. But, any modern professional needs their utility belt. Those special tools that make the job faster, more organized, and way more powerful. That's exactly what this next set of tools is all about. This developer's utility belt has three awesome tools. First, GitHub. That's pretty standard for managing code and working with others. Next, Hugging Face, which is this huge community hub for all things AI. Tons of models, datasets, you name it. And third is a really fascinating choice, Obsidian. It's a note-taking app, but here's the cool part. In this context, it's used as a private local knowledge base for the AI agent to use. It's like giving your agent its own personal library to study from. So we've gone through the foundation, the brain, and the utility belt. All the different parts of our Agentic app toolkit are now laid out on the table. It's time for one last pre-flight check before we imagine putting it all together. With all these components in front of us, the big question is pretty simple. Are we ready to build? Let's just do a quick final review of the entire stack that we've just assembled. So let's recap the whole stack, quick and easy. You've got your foundation, that's the Flutter SDK and your IDE. You have the AI brain, powered by that absolutely essential Gemini API key. There's the server link, handled by those MCP tools that act as the bridge. And finally, you have your utility belt, stocked with GitHub, Hugging Face, and that cool personal library, Obsidian. Every single piece has a job to do. And that brings us right to the end, to the most important question of all. See, this isn't just a boring list of software, it's a recipe for creation. Now that you've seen the entire toolkit, all the pieces you need to build a modern AI agent, what would you do with it? What kind of problems would you solve? What kind of intelligent assistant will you build? That's the real opportunity here.